I'm saying it. Where the beat go? Oh, ain't that something? Drums came in, you ain't see that coming. Hands on my head, can't tell me nothing. Got a taste of the fame and upon my stomach. Throw back up like I don't want it.
What if, yeah, whatever. This is what it's gonna be called. What if Deku had all for one? Or what if Deku was all for one? No, what if Deku had all for one? Sounds much better in my opinion. Don't you think? Well, let's get right to it because I don't want to waste any time. And also, I'm going to be posting tomorrow. It's going to be a scary what if. Not really, but really. You'll see tomorrow. Okay. And I might be posting at 3 a.m. the devil's hour. So, at least that's what people saying. Please don't, Okay. Well, we're going to be starting this off. Deku, he don't like. Okay, all for one is Deku's dad, and Deku's grown. There's more than one of Deku. Like, Deku isn't all for one's first child, and all for one was creating a perfect child, like a child who had all his abilities, all his powers, his intelligence, everything that all for one don't know about his quirk. He want this child to have. There was tons of other Dekus, but all of them was failures in All for One's eyes. And Deku was a rare case, because All for One seen that he has all these abilities, and All for One's like, these can be very useful one day. And Inko is still Midoriya's mom, I guess. But she have a different quirk. Like, she got a super intelligence. And here's comes the All for One and All Might fight. This goes way worse than in canon, but it goes way better for the heroes. All for One in this one, he's killed. And All Might, he don't have his injury, which means All Might, he don't have no weak form, no skinny, non-buffed out form. All Might, he's still in pink condition. But we couldn't say the same for All for One. And they tell Deku and Inko this. Inko's like, yeah, no, I'm not dealing with this. And she leaves. And Deku's by himself, since he don't really know what's going on, because he's like 2. He don't show any emotion because he's like, dead? What does that even mean? So they just train up Deku. And this is the process where Korogiri is getting made. Because if you haven't known, manga spoiler, Korogiri is he is a Nomu. And let's say 9, he's not going to come to the league. Like, 9 is going to be created, like biologically created, like by chemicals. Like, he have the DNA of All for One and Inko. So yeah, and yeah, that happens. So Deku's getting trained. In the original, 9 was like in his 20s or something. So 9, he's with Korogiri and stuff. So 9's not with him. In one particular day, that's when All Might and some other heroes bust in. And no, wait, hold on. Let me backtrack. That's up. What? Let me back that up. Deku, he's stealing some of his co-workers' quirks. Like, he's still like 10 of their quirks. And they're praising Deku for it, not really yelling at him saying, oh, why did you do that? Give it back. They're actually praising him, calling Deku a god. So Deku thinks he can do what he wants. No one's gonna stop him. And, I'll be right back. Alright, I'm back. Sorry for that. And Deku, he have like 10 quirks. A few months later, like 6 months, All Might busts in with tons of heroes like Endeavor, the Best Genius, Mr. Aizawa, Netsu, Snipe, Midnight. Those relevant heroes. Edgeshot, Hawks. No, what? Not Hawks. He's in it later. And yeah, and All Might looks at Deku, and Deku's like, "Huh, you're All Might, aren't you? Aren't you gonna give me your quirk?" And All Might just snarls at Deku like he just can't stand what Deku just said to him. Like he generally hates All for One, which rubs off on Deku. And like he know Deku's just an innocent kid in the wrong crowd, but All Might just can't stand Deku. And that's when they all get arrested. And before that, Deku had took some of his code workers' quirks. Like he got like a 20 or 30 quirks in his arsenal. But not really useful ones. There's useful ones, but not really. Like there's some useful ones. Like he's going to probably use in the future, but forget about it later because he's gonna have better quirks. And Deku's sent to this maximum security prison somewhat. And not really, but really. Like he's sent there with flame flowers and rainbows and stuff. Normal kitty things. But Deku, he's curious, like, why is he here? What did he do wrong? That's when Mitsuki comes in. She's like, hey, that's my friend's kid, and I want him back. The reason why Inko's not getting Deku, Inko's dead. She had a heart attack. And Mitsuki's like, hey, I want that kid. This is my nephew. And I want him back. Like, no questions. And they're like, okay, get him. And Mitsuki's like, really? Yeah, just get him. And Mitsuki take Deku and she start trying to educate Deku. But Deku seems like he knows what he's doing and talking about. Bakugo, which is the girl in this one, or Kachan, she calls Deku a villain. And Deku said, what you call me, you brat? And tries to takes Bakugo's quirk. And he lifts his hand up and throws a massive explosion. Mitsuki comes in the way, lifting Bakugo's hand up. And like that explosion is like 3 times bigger than a normal kid Bakugo's explosion. So it hurt Deku. But Deku didn't care because he just got called a villain for no reason. And Mitsuki's like, give Kosuke his quirk back, or her quirk back. And Deku says, hey. And when Deku reaches out for Bakugo flinches a little. And Deku gives her quirk back. And like, Deku's like, okay, I gave it back. And he walks off. I'll be right back. As I was saying, he gives it back, and yeah, that happens. So they're growing up. They're growing up with each other. Bakugo and Deku, they get along somewhat, but not really. And Deku been collecting quirks without Mitsuki or Bakugo knowing. Like he's been collecting those quirks. Like the quirks he really wants, he been stealing it. Some people don't even know he stole their quirks. The people who do know, like they don't care, cause like, bro, my quirk was useless. I might as well be quirkless. Like, I'm not gonna be a hero, so it's like, what's the point of even having that quirk? That's how Deku is. He's 14, beginning of the anime, and he learned discipline, not to just boo gang someone quirk for no reason. But All Might and the heroes been watching Deku. They've been on his trail this whole entire time, making sure he don't act up in any single way. So when the teacher says something about the announcements, nobody laughs at Deku. Some people are afraid to even say something towards Deku. Like they're all hushed because they don't want Deku finding out they said something, or their quirk is gonna get took, or even worse. they're gonna get beat up and they get their torque took. Like that's just hurtful. And Deku catch wind of this. He's like, and he smirks. And some people backs away from him because Deku don't smile at all. He have a not. He don't have emotions in his face. So yeah, in the sludge villain attack, that happens, but it's like it doesn't even matter. The sludge villain comes from behind, attacks Kachan or Bakugo. If I say Bakugo, just know I'm talking about Katsuki, should I say, or or just Kachan or something. Just know I'm saying that, meaning that. And so they're trying to molest choke out Bakugo, and and Deku's not having none of that. Like he lifts his fingers and he blazing burns the sludge villain. Not burning Bakugo, but Bakugo's temperature is rising because of the flames and the smoke. And the sludge villain burns off of Bakugo, and Bakugo says, "I didn't need your help." And Deku's like, "Yeah, you actually did, but okay, whatever helps you sleep at night, I guess." And Bakugo's mad and blushing a little because he just got saved. And yeah, so that happened, and their 10 months of training starts, and Deku's just helping Bakugo, like, he's trying to help her gain up more control of her quirk, like handle more bigger explosions that can like non-damage her body and stuff like that. Like he's putting this some type of quirk inside her, like a boosting quirk that boosts her quirk like tenfold. So Bakugo's gaining control, and when Bakugo do damage herself, Deku heals her with his healing quirk. So Deku's helping Bakugo, and he's gaining more benefits controlling his quirk. Like he's trying to mix up quirks together. He already found out how to mix his regeneration with his healing, giving him immortality. So yeah, but that's not until later. Like that's until later. He's not using it because he thinks that's a backup plan. He's not just gonna use it and keep it on the whole time. Cause like, what's the point? Like he knows he's tough enough not to die easily, so he's not just gonna use it just to use it. And so yeah, he does that for Bakugo, and out of nowhere, Mitsuki been living good to be honest. Like she ain't stressing cause Deku got that cash. He got a money cork. Like he can just generate money. So Mitsuki, they're rich. Like they got cash. Deku be making hundreds, sometimes 50s, sometimes 20s, but hundreds mostly. Like he don't do anything under 20. He's not making it. Like he thinks it's out of his dictionary. Like it's out of here, bro. I'm not making that. So they're living good, eating good, and they have a better house than in canon. The Bakugo's house was already good. Like they live better than Deku in canon, but they're living much better. Like they got a 2 to 3 story house, cause of Deku just generating money. The money doesn't come. It have no drawbacks, and they got like a bank account that's full of billions and millions of dollars, and they got trillions of life support. Like they got so much money, they don't waste it, but they put it on their life support or in the bank, or they just keep it on. They don't keep it on hand because they don't want to get robbed. So yeah, 10 months of training. That's where I'm gonna leave it off. You know what? Let me go a little bit ahead. I might just cut this off a little short. So yeah, they're at the entrance exam, practical. The written portion. Deku passed that. Practical. Deku gets 160 points, and for that 2 weeks they're training together. So yeah, and then they both get the letter to UA, and they're training until that week then. So that's where I'm going to be leaving it off. Like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next What If. Peace.